What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Topher's Garage. So today we got the Jeep in the garage, and we're going to be replacing the valve cover gasket. So let me show you what's on there currently and what I got, and then we'll get started. Alright, so I actually replaced this valve cover gasket maybe 2 years ago. And when I did that, I just got a cheap cork gasket. And as you can see, it's kind of started to leak again. We've got some oil leaking there and some more back there. So gonna have to do it again, but this time I got a Felpro rubber gasket, so let me show you that. So like I mentioned, I got a Felpro rubber gasket. Here's the part number for it, 50522. I got it off of Amazon. I'll link it in the description. But let's get this opened and check out how it looks. So here it is. Here's the instructions. I'm super impressed with how this looks. It's really rigid, which when you're doing like a cork gasket makes it a little bit difficult because it wants to move around. Looks like there's kind of like spacers where the bolts go. The instructions say not to use any RTV. You're gonna clear it off or clean off the old RTV, and this is supposed to replace using the RTV silicone sealant. So we'll give that a shot, but so far initial impression is that this is a super high quality unit, so pretty excited about it. Alright, so to get started, we'll just get kind of all these hoses, cables, and wires pulled off, and then we'll kind of get the work area clear, and then we'll start pulling the bolts. Alright, so we got our, let's see, is it 7/16 socket, so we'll go around and we'll get all of these loose. So I can't remember how many there are, but they're all the way around the valve cover. So we'll get these all taken out and then get the valve cover separated. So before we get too far down removing bolts, I do just want to mention it's a good idea to do something like this. Lay out the valve cover with where all the bolts are. And then as you take them out, you can kind of put them in. That way they go back in the right spot. Because some of them are a little different. They'll have like brackets or spots for things to hook on. So it's good to do something like this. All our bolts removed, so now we'll get this cover off. It may just, I think we'll have to pry just a little bit just to get it up. So let's get started on that. You want to be careful not to gouge any surface, but as long as you're kind of light, you can break it free pretty gently. So I think we got kind of lucky. It looks like all of the gasket material came off on the valve cover, so there's not too much cleanup to do. But what we're going to do first, I'm going to paint the valve cover, so we're going to get that outside, get it cleaned up. I'm going to get some of the citrus orange paint stripper on it, get that working, and then we'll come back in and start cleaning this up. Alright, so we got the valve cover cleaned up, the gasket all removed. We've got our citrus strip sitting on here now. So we'll go back inside and we'll get the block cleaned up. So when we get the valve cover gasket or the valve cover done, we'll be ready to put it back together. I'm here for about 30 minutes, so we'll take our brush and some water and see if we can't get all the old paint off. Alright, so we got it all wiped down and paint stripped off. So we got it in the sun, letting the water dry off, and then we'll get it wiped down and we'll get it painted. And then we'll let that dry and get it back on the Jeep. Alright, so we've got our outdoor paint booth set up. So we're gonna wipe it down with some acetone real quick and then get to painting. Alright, so we got our valve cover all painted. Looks pretty good. I am pleased with it. We got our new gasket over here, already just kind of sitting on there. We cleaned up the mating surface, you can see there. Metal's all cleaned up and ready to go. So now we just gotta kind of do the reverse of what we did when we took the valve cover off. So we'll get started on that. Alright, so there it is. Got the valve cover gasket replaced. You can see the blue Felpro gasket down there. Got the painted valve cover. I'm pretty pleased with how it turns out. It's not perfect, but I think it looks much better than it did. So yeah, pretty pleased with it. Alright, so if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.